Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Super Breakdown. Today we're going to be looking at the ZGMF-X13A Providence Gundam, piloted by Raul LaCrusade. The Providence is a pretty interesting 400. Got some really interesting things you can do with the funnels that are pretty cool. Some good mix-ups there. And then its melee combos are actually pretty quick. However, where it really shines is in just how different, I suppose, its funnels work from every other funnel set. You can launch them behind you, to come around you like that. You have this little meter that charges in the bottom left or bottom right down there. It's your left trigger. When that's done, you can send out your funnels that will make a prison that will stun any suit hit by it and will stay there up until the timer runs out, which is pretty good. You also have that right trigger little jump, which is pretty nice. Depending on how you use that, it can be a little short hop, or it can be this really nice spin that allows you to get around attacks you may not otherwise have been able to get around. You have the basic beam shot, and you can charge it. And when fully charged, you have a more powerful version of the beam shot. You have the funnels that you can play around with. Is really what I do most of the time when I use this suit. I will freely admit that I funnel spam with this suit, but it feels like this suit, in particular, was kind of made for it. They will either fire on their own, or if you fire, they will fire with you, which is pretty nice. So you can actually make basically a field of fire that you can control to be able to really dominate your opponent there. They do, of course, also go up above cliffs and things like that, so they give you a lot of options in 1v1s. In 2v2s and 3v3s, it becomes very chaotic when the Providence is around, especially if you pair it with a Cubile or something else that uses funnels as well. And then, of course, there's the burst, which is very nice. Looks really cool. In round 2, we'll show off the rest of the melee combos. But, of course, the question then becomes, should you use the Providence? Well, if you like suits that are a little unique in the way that they use their ranged attacks, and you like ranged combat, the Providence is great. If you are not a fan of funnels, and you don't like using funnels, I would definitely steer clear of the Providence, because it really feels like that's what the core of its kit is built around. But for mid to short range, I think the Providence is absolutely amazing when it comes to ranged combat. The melee combat's pretty good too, as you'll see as we get into the combos here. But it's really the ranged combat from just about any lock where the Providence shines. And of course, since you can fire the funnels with your striker as well, you can really just get funnel spam in there. So you have the standard forward melee. Forward melee is pretty good. Gives you a nice little pop-up there. You have back melee, which gives you actually a pretty wide beam of the saber to be able to hit enemies in a wide arc. You have side melee, which we will show off when I can actually close the distance here. Side melee has a pretty short activation range and doesn't really have a regular combo, but like the Epion, if you then switch to the opposite side, you'll continue the combo forward, which is pretty nice. Then, of course, finally you have basic melee, which we will get over here and show. And basic melee is pretty standard, you know, nothing wrong with that. It does the job. Main strategies I would recommend using are using the beam cage of the funnels to be able to just lock them down and then just go to town on them. Either by using your melee attacks and getting in there with those, or by just funnel spamming after you've done it to just really go at it. Now you also have that nice little kick there that you can do if you are dash meleeing, which is pretty nice. You don't ever want to use all of your funnels at once, because if you do, then you just don't have any more funnels to use. But if you use like 2 or 3 funnels at a time, they really, really show how effective they are. I definitely recommend the Providence. I think it's a really solid suit. It can be kind of infuriating to fight against because of the funnel spam, but it is definitely something you should at least consider using. With all that said, I have been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that the Providence Gundam has to offer.